From First Coast News, this is Good Morning Jacksonville.
Breaking news update for you now at 6 o'clock. It is a sigh of relief for parents after a reported kidnapping in Jacksonville. A 2-year-old child was found safe last night, but this after that child was taken from a home by a woman who then left the baby in a dumpster, JSO tells us. Got a live look now at the place where that 2-year-old was found, the dumpster. Monica Garcia will have more on this case in just 2 minutes from now.
And we continue to track breaking news out of Georgia, where crews are still on the scene cleaning up after a portion of I-85 just collapsed. Again, this is in Atlanta. In just 4 minutes, Lindsay Boach will show us the progress crews have made overnight. But first, we want to check in with meteorologist Mike Prangley for a look at your local forecast.
Yeah,
hey,
it's
Mike.
all about the heat today. Futurecast going through the roof. In fact, the hottest finish to March on record was last year. You remember a high of 88? Today, I think we hit 89 degrees. But we're going to radar. Breaking news, we had a quick shower in southeast Georgia, but it just fizzled out by the time it headed to beautiful in Brunswick. And we have another line we're watching with the main cold front, but look what happens. Yeah, as expected, we thought it would shrivel up and we're being dry slotted. So just a slight chance of a shower, maybe late morning, early afternoon at best. A quick 5-10 minute shower for Waycross and then fizzling by the time it gets to Brunswick. The rest of us miss the rain and we track the very warm temperatures. 71 already Jacksonville, 69 St. Augustine. Weather wheel showing that 3-degree guarantee high of 89. Sunrise 717. And check it out. There's those low rain chances. We stay dry through the weekend, but we do have some heat relief on the way. No fooling. Getting you ready for April with Katie Jeffries in the VyStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you, Mike. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's start with a live look near downtown. This is I-95 near Forest Street, so approaching the downtown area, and our interstates look very nice. So let's take a look here at our traffic maps. Help you guys out this morning. Traveling on 95 southbound from 295 towards downtown is about a 10-minute ride. That is your normal drive time. If you are headed maybe towards the Orange Park area or traveling through it, a little slow as you pass the base here along NAS Jacksonville, but leaving Orange Park on US 17 or on Blanding, traveling up to speed. No matter what happens on our roadways today, just be glad you're not a commuter in Atlanta. Back to you, Lewis.
Mouthful right there. Thank you, Katie. Back to that breaking news from Jacksonville's northwest side with the 2-year-old who was kidnapped from a home only to be found safely in a dumpster just about 3 miles away. Monica Garcia live at the scene where that baby was found, tracking the very latest details on what happened here. Monica?
And that's right. The most disturbing part about all of this is that little girl was found inside of a dumpster. Like you said, just 3 miles away from her home. Thankfully, it was within the hour. But the sad part here is that that little girl had to spend some time inside of the dumpster you see right here. Now, we're located in a residential area here in northwest Jacksonville, and I'm going to have Todd take a look inside of that dumpster just to give you an idea of what this little girl went through. You can see there's just kind of a few mattresses in there and a box spring and a bicycle. Police tell us that it all unfolded around 9 o'clock last night. That's when they say somehow a woman was able to gain access inside of this toddler's home. She was able to take the toddler without the parents even noticing. Investigators say the woman, who is believed to be in her 20s, does know the family somehow. So the family then tipped off police and told them to search the area where we are located, again 3 miles away from their home, just off of Gulf Brook Drive. That's where police say when they were looking, they heard cries.
It was an officer. It was an officer that was searching this area. They were running up and down the street. Again, we were brought here via the family. And when the officers were here, the officer heard a child crying, and then diligent search of the area found the child in that.
Now, the kidnapper is in police custody. Of course, this investigation is still early on. Still a lot of questions that need to be answered. But the main thing here is that that 2-year-old little girl was found safe. From northwest Jacksonville, Monica Garcia, First Coast News.
And back to some more breaking news out of Atlanta now. Smoke billowing into the air after the fire started on the highway, and it ended up causing a road collapse.
Yeah, the heat so intense, parts of the highway started falling away during rush hour in Atlanta. My goodness. Lindsay Boach in our information center now, tracking the cleanup efforts, the investigation as well. Lindsay.
Yeah, good morning, Keitha and Lewis. Not just parts of the interstate, but a whole section, a huge gaping hole, now sits in I-85. And this is going to be a nightmare for folks not only today, but for a long time after this, as they still have to determine, A, what caused the fire, and B, how they are going to repair this section of the roadway and how long. So here's a look at a map right now showing you the relation of this collapse to the downtown area, just a few miles north of downtown, but still very heavily traveled area. About 250,000 cars travel on this roadway every single day. I've been following our coverage from WXIA, our sister station up there in Atlanta, and they're saying that Atlanta Fire is describing what was under this road as a huge fuel load. And Governor Nathan Deal, who has declared a state of emergency, is saying that it could have been PVC pipes. This area under the storageway where this fire started is largely a storage area, and WXIA is saying that there's an increased homeless population that is living under that overpass as well. Large flames engulfing the roadway there, northbound lanes, thick black smoke under that overpass. Eventually, part of the bridge collapses, bringing traffic obviously to a standstill. It's just surprising that nobody was injured in all of this.
Our guys made a good call when they got here and saw this fire. One of our fire units just pulled up on it before they even called out on it, and they immediately stopped traffic coming onto the Buford Highway connector. I know for a fact that saved lives, and so that's what our guys do.
And behind me, this is coverage of XIA. That's one of their reporters there. You can see the smoke still behind there. So again, they have to determine what caused the fire and then when they can start to get this part of the roadway fixed. I'll be following the story for you all morning long. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. Quick check of your time now. It's 6:06. Well, a new scandal for the White House this morning coming from a man it's already cut ties with. Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn is apparently trying to work out a deal to testify before Congress if he's given immunity. His attorney tweeted last night that he's in talks with the Congressional Intelligence Committees and may testify about the relationship between the White House and Russia. But it's unclear if the committees will take that deal. Well, SpaceX boldly goes where no one has gone before. The private space company lifted off from Cape Canaveral last night, reusing one of its rocket boosters for the very first time. Last night's launch took a communication satellite into space, and the rocket landed safely on a pad in the ocean. Well, we know which one of Crayon's iconic colors is getting the boot. We finally know. The crayon maker made its announcement a little early and said the yellowish color dandelion will be taken out of its 24 packs of crayons to be replaced with a brand new color. We don't know exactly what shade that will be, but Crayola will unveil the new color this morning at 8:45.
Be a nice shade of garnet. 6:07
We'll
is your time. It's the leading cause of death for men and women in the United States, and most of the time you link your risk of heart disease to your physical health. But stick around. We're going to tell you about an unseen cause that one local woman faced. 6:15.
Well, we're tracking rain, or more like a tease on our Friday, but this is actually a good sign of a more active pattern that will bring, yes, some beneficial rain back in the 7-day. I'll let you know when, and of course have those big weekend event forecasts right after this. Good morning, happy Friday. Let's get right to it. Okay, so rain just kind of fizzling out as expected. We're dry slotted on this Friday. The beneficial rain up toward the Carolinas for us, tracking a record-setting finish to our March. In fact, you can see this cold front, no cold air behind it, and what's left of the showers, if we do get a brief shower, it would be late morning, early afternoon, but most of us miss out. No cold air behind this front, so what does this mean for plans? As this pushes through, that's going to reinforce our dry weather for the weekend. And we've got fair weather, yes, just in time for the Clay County Fair. We've got fireworks night tonight, the Youth Dairy Show, temperatures in the 70s, and there'll be a fresh breeze, so lower humidity moving in. The Walk to Defeat ALS. This is always a big event, temperatures right around 80 degrees, good walking weather, and you can't forget the shrimp and suds going on at the baseball grounds. Temperatures of 88 with a nice lower humidity, what I call good eating weather. More events on the way, including some running weather. No fooling as we head into April. We'll get to those, but first, Katie Jeffries in the ViStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you very much, Mike. I hope you guys are having a great start to this Friday. This is a live look out at the James Point Bridge. You have those outside northbound and southbound lane closures that we've been seeing since January, but no accidents or any additional lane closures there at the moment. Let's take a look here at our traffic maps, help you guys out this morning. If you are traveling through the downtown area, wanted to let you know Main Street Bridge is going to close overnight tonight, Saturday, and it'll reopen Sunday morning at 6 a.m. as they continue rehab work. So just use the Acosta Bridge while the Main Street Bridge is closed. I-95 into or out of St. Johns County, move it up to speed, no issues. In St. Augustine, no reports of crashes in your area. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Katie. It's now 12 minutes past the hour. So heart disease can be caused by a number of things: family history, your eating habits, or smoking. But up next, why mental health factored into the equation for one woman right here on the First Coast. Plus, a startling discovery in Jacksonville, a 2-year-old child found in a dumpster. How the baby ended up there, that's coming up in 3 minutes.
And we continue to monitor the breaking news out of Atlanta. This is what's left from that partial road collapse. I-85 after a terrible fire from underneath. Any helicopter footage there now. We're going to get a first look as the sun comes up. Now the flames are put out. One of the busiest roads in Atlanta. It is going to be a nightmare. We're going to tell you what's happened when we come back.
And welcome back. You're watching Good Morning Jacksonville on this Friday morning. We continue to follow some breaking news out of Atlanta. A part of interstate there collapsed. This is I-85. This happened yesterday around rush hour. A fire broke out right underneath that overpass. Lizzie Bosch is tracking that story, and she'll have more on Good Morning Jacksonville coming up.
Plus, I'm Monica Garcia here live outside of Northwest Jacksonville with a story we've been tracking since last night. A 2-year-old little girl taken from her home, found safely inside that dumpster you see right there, just 3 miles away from her home. Now, police tell us a woman apparently walked into the parents' apartment and simply took that child without the parents even noticing. After police were called, they canvassed another apartment complex nearby. When they heard cries coming from the dumpster, turns out the 2-year-old was inside the dumpster and found safe. That woman now in police custody. We're going to have more coming up in just 10 minutes. Keitha, back to you.
Thank goodness that child is safe. Well, 80 times a minute, 4,800 times an hour, 115,000 times a day, 42 million times a year. That's how many times your heart beats. In just one day, your heart pumps about 1,500 to 2,000 gallons of blood. Just think about that. Think about the size of a gallon of water. We have that for you right here. Multiply this by 2,000. It's no mystery how important your heart is. That's why bringing awareness of heart disease and the risk factors is so vital. You see, normally when you think of those risk factors, you think about the obvious ones like smoking, alcohol use, high caffeine intake, drug abuse, eating high amounts of fat. But you don't think about depression and how it actually ranks at the top with the most 5 common causes of heart disease. Think about this. You become depressed, have high anxiety, so much so that it leads to a heart attack. Then that heart attack leads to you in a deeper state of depression, which leads to another heart attack. That's exactly what happened to one woman right here on the First Coast. Lindsay Boach brings us her story this morning.
Gotten many annuloplasties. I have 8 stents.
She even has a stent in a stent. Sol Cabrera has been through a lot.
I suffered from depression, anxieties due to a previous abusive relationship, and that led me to my first heart attack.
That was in 2002. She overcame the heart attack and was managing her depression until her father got sick and passed away in March of 2012.
I ended up getting depressed once again. I kept thinking about my dad. I cried all the time. Then I ended up having the second heart attack.
That was just a few months after the passing of her dad. She had a robotic heart procedure and has been dealing with her depression with the help of Dr. Oza at St. Vincent's. He says the link between depression and heart disease is closer than originally thought.
It's not just the habits that somebody with depression has that cause them harm, it's the actual depression and state of mind itself that can accelerate coronary disease and lead to heart disease in general.
And it goes both ways, like it did with Sol. Depression can lead to heart disease, just as heart disease can lead to depression. So Dr. Oza says there are some things that you can do to make sure your stress levels are down.
Do things to really reduce that stress. There's a lot of different things, yoga, meditation, just general activity like sports, being around people that you love, having support. All those things can prevent depression from occurring, but depression is actually a clinical condition, so you do need professional help if you do have signs of depression.
Like Sol has done. She went through an intensive 9-week program at St. Vincent's and has started a walking group in her neighborhood.
So I got a big group now. We walk every day, Monday through Friday.
And through that, she has lost almost 30 pounds and says now is her time to live. In Jacksonville, Lindsay Boach, First Coast News.
And get this, Soul Now volunteers with the same program that helped her manage her depression. If you think you could be suffering from depression, Dr. Oza says it is so important, it is vital to see your physician. Mike, Lou.
All right, Keitha, thank you so much. And Lindsay, all right, so rain needed, and we know we've got a line that's fizzling.
Yeah, not good news.
And so we got to talk about the drought because the wildfire danger continues.
All right, yeah, in fact, something different. This came out yesterday, and we now have moderate drought conditions into Alachua County. And notice our drought zone in the 10 and now expanding through Duval, Clay, St. Johns, and Putnam County. So the rain could not come soon enough, but we do have some beneficial rain next week on the way. But for today, here's the deal. We've got a shifting wind behind a front that's fizzling. Not good news. Very high fire danger, especially after 3 o'clock today. That could continue into tomorrow. Maybe more of an ocean breeze Sunday. Okay, so that may bring us a little more humidity and help fire danger, but still in the high range. Monday, very high due to lightning strikes. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on it. Today, here's what I'm talking about. We've got a front that's fizzling out. Southwest wind, look at those gusts, 20 to 30 miles per hour, bringing record highs near 90 degrees. So we're running into the weekend. I'm giving it a 10 on the runner index. Yeah, runners, we can toughen up. It's Friday. We're going to get the run done. We have a lot of runs going on, including the Spud Run, half marathon and 5K in Hastings, Florida. That's right, Spud's one of my favorite places. And look at the difference. Tomorrow morning, instead of waking up to 70 like today, 59 behind that front. So at least a little drier air in there. 67 by 9 a.m., 76 as you finish strong. No stopping you now. In fact, no stopping our plans this weekend. Both Saturday to start April, 87, and Sunday, there's that cooler sea breeze blowing in with 83 degrees. So here it is, 7-day forecast. I said we'd get finally the beneficial rain. Drum roll, please. That would be late Monday to Tuesday morning, but we're going to have to keep an eye on some severe weather chances late day, and then another good round of rain. Maybe more strong storms, though, with it Thursday into Friday. Now, yes, it's Friday, and we've got Katie Jeffries also in the 5-Star Credit Union Traffic Center. I call that a great start to our day.
Oh, thank you, Mike. All right, so let's take a look here at some of your drive times. If you're making your way out the door, I-10 looks great. In fact, from Lake City all the way towards Jacksonville, it is a smooth ride. Taking a look outside at I-10 and 295 where they meet out there on the west side. Looks like you got a truck over here that's in the right shoulder of the westbound side, but I'm not seeing any delays because of any problems out there. So let's take a look here at our traffic maps, help you guys out this morning. If you're traveling across the Buckman Bridge, congestion doesn't usually pick up until about 6:40, 6:45, so you still have some time to get out the door. For those of you, I don't know why you would go to Atlanta today. It's going to be a nightmare, but if for some reason you have to go to Atlanta, I tweeted this. It's a look at the detours around the I-85 collapse. And it, like I said, it's just going to be awful. So avoid going towards Atlanta today if for some reason you had plans to go. But if you want to take a look at the detour map, I tweeted it at Katie_Jeffries. Now it's Friday. That means it's time for our student of the week. This week it is Jay Garland. She is an 8th grader at Mayport Middle School. She is an outstanding student. She loves science and she is involved in Future Farmers of America, robotics, National Junior Honor Society, and TV production. She is involved in so much at school because she says she wants to get into MIT someday and pursue chemical engineering and focus on helping water and end hunger. Now here is her advice to other students.
Don't give up, because if you give up, then you're just letting it stomp over you, and then you won't be able to go as far as you want to in life.
She is a great student and competes through FFA and aqua farming. So this is a look at some of the tilapia that she is raising. She's a part of a military family and she will actually soon be headed to Japan to attend school there for the next few years. But an amazing young woman. Congratulations to Jay Garland of Mayport Middle School for being our student of the week.
All right, Katie, thank you so much. All morning long, we have been tracking breaking news out of Northwest Jacksonville, talking about a 2-year-old child who was kidnapped, then found safe, but in a dumpster. We have an update for you on that story in just 2 minutes' time. It's 6:23. Stay right there.
6:26 is your time. If you're just now waking up and joining us, we have a quick update for you this morning to some breaking news from late last night. This is the dumpster right here you're seeing on your screen. This is where a kidnapped 2-year-old was found safe in Jacksonville last night. The toddler was apparently taken from home by a woman who got into the apartment without being noticed by the child's parents. The woman who allegedly took that child is now in custody. but no word yet on the charges she could face against that child. Again, that child is safe and sound.
This morning, and it's the time of the morning when you usually show you Deal Guy Matt Granite's big deal of the day, but because of all the big developing stories we're tracking, we're going to post a story about Easter candy deals online, and it is a great deal. So if you're looking for that, just click on the Ways to Save tab at the top of firstcoastnews.com and save yourself a little bit of cash money. Your time right now is 6:27. We're back in 2 minutes.